Welcome back, guys, to another live trading room, another live trading session with the Fivers. It's Wednesday. We got a lot of movements in the market today, so it's going to be interesting to see what levels we're watching and what trades we have potentially coming up. What's up, Victor? How's it going?
How are you doing, Jonathan? Hello, everyone. Yes, today is we certainly got some movement on GU and on the market in general. I think today's going to be an exciting day because we have Lagarde speaking later. So I'm ready to see what the market has in store for us.
That's right. That's right. We do have. When is she speaking? She's speaking at. It's tonight. So it's 20. It's tonight. Okay, that's yeah, that's gonna probably that could be a big one because we like you mentioned yesterday we had Lagarde speaking last time, and that prompted Euro USD to absolutely just dump horrendously, and we're seeing that move continuing to the downside today. So yeah, interesting. And like Henry is saying in the comments, gold could perhaps reach new all-time highs, and you're absolutely right about that. We're just a couple of how far are we from? We're about 0.3% from gold reaching into new all-time highs, which could definitely happen during today's trading room. Tomorrow we have retail sales coming out from the US, and then building permits as well. That might make a push for the currencies connected to the US, and of course that would be gold, gold as well. Bitcoin
Yes.
is continuing. It's moved to the upside. So yeah, looks really good. I'm just gonna pull up the charts here right away and just walk you through what we're talking about here. So I think the major thing that we had that we talked about yesterday was GBP USD, and as you can see today, none of what we wanted to happen happened yesterday. I'm glad that I didn't take this long, but when I talked about taking this trade, I explained how price action there's wicks in places where I don't want wicks to be when I'm taking a trade, and price action was a bit too compact here for me to take a trade. And then we had the pound interest rate. Not the interest rate decision, but the actual interest rate. No, the inflation rate. The inflation rate came out this morning, which obviously caused a big move to the downside. So what we're seeing now, and going back to what we talked about yesterday with the correlation between GBP USD and Euro USD, we are seeing now GBP USD is following EU. So yesterday I talked about, is EU lagging behind or is GU lagging behind? And looking at this, it did look like GBP is now catching up to the down move on EU. Because if we look at what happened here, it's the same move on GU as we have on EU. Basically, this is the move that I'm talking about. So it's a very similar move from both GU and EU, and it looks like both of these currencies are now continuing its move to the downside. Now, of course, a currency like EU or a currency like the euro versus dollar is not just going to go straight down. We will see support somewhere, and a lot of times when we have moves like this, there's going to be a catalyst that puts in a bottom or puts in a floor. And we do have, like Victor is mentioning or mentioned before, Lagarde is speaking tonight. So I do think that that might be a potential catalyst to put in a bottom around these prices. Because if you look at the overall structure for EU, we are at a level where technically the probabilities are in the buyer's favor here if you look at the levels from a strictly level perspective, supply and demand, support and resistance. You're at a level where EU should put in some type of reaction. It would make sense if it does. And of course, with that catalyst coming up, we might see that being here. So how would we trade this, or how would I trade this? The way that I would trade this is obviously I want to go first to this is on the weekly. We see that we have a weekly high time frame support right here. We go to the daily, look at the structure in the daily. It's just basically one straight move to the downside that broke this uptrend. So not really much to say about the daily other than the fact that we are at a high time frame support area. However, on the 4-hour, the trend is very clear. And when you have a clear trend, like I explained yesterday, a clear trend means that we also have a clear invalidation of that trend. And to me, that would be like breaking this area, because you see now that we have slightly different price action than what we had yesterday, we can now mark out, because this right here, this is obviously an important level, because you can see on the 4-hour that you had a lot of buyers coming in right here. So this tells us that there is interest at this level, and it's also that level that failed to hold that support, which caused the current move that we're seeing now to downside. So a reclaim of this level would perhaps also create a change of structure and break the bearish structure on the 4-hour. This would be my first sign of going long on EU. And this could also be a good first sign of going long in terms of a longer term swing trade on EU. Because if you look at the levels on the daily, we do have a very interesting level right here that I think could be acting as a decent FTA area for a swing trade. And it's a pretty good trade. I mean, if you go long here with stops all the way down here, we're still looking for a 2-hour trade. So I think that's actually a pretty decent move. Now, of course, because of the fact that we're looking for a very very big move to the upside at 800. What is it? No, 82 pip, not 800. 82 pip move to the upside. Big. If you can find a tight stop loss on that one, like if you're able to get in with the stops here, now we're talking about 5, 6, or 7R setups. So yeah, we do have potential, lots of potential in the areas that we're trading in. The problem, though, well, maybe it's not a problem. It's only a problem if you feel the urge to take a trade. But we're in the areas of interest for me. But we're not seeing a lot of follow through. We're not seeing a lot of confirmation. So hopefully that will come when we have the high impact news event that we do have coming up in the next couple of days. Yes, I do agree with Hamid that we did have another level before that TP. I do. It's very good that you mentioned that. It's very good catch. I think he's looking at like this level right here, somewhere around that level. And you're absolutely right about that. That could be a good take profit as well. But if you're strictly looking at the daily, I would say you look at the last swing point on the daily. And the last swing point on the daily is here and here. So if you're going to go with that, then of course it's different approaches and different take profits. Okay, I feel like I've been talking for way too long now, so I'm gonna invite you into the conversation, Victor.
Yes, I was looking into what you were looking. I'm the price action that you're mentioning. It's peculiar because, of course, what drags your attention is the fact that we have momentum to the upside now, right? Last couple of hours, we've seen buyers coming in, and I'm talking, of course, on EU. However, for me, I'm not there yet. It takes a lot more. Of course, you are yet either. But I'm still looking for not ideas, but for that possibility of a trend continuation, because we are prices menacing, threatening. That is, if you're a seller with a bullish structure on the H4, but we're currently right at the top of a bearish structure as well. And if we just consider what it has been doing the last couple of days, and many days, I should say, it's been having a lot of sellers participating.
Maybe you could pull up your chart and show us what you're talking about.
Sure. There you go. Right. So I see this too, right? I see buying coming in that we haven't seen in a long time. And yes, there was some buying here. As I mentioned yesterday, we didn't get follow through at the right place, which was this H4 order block. It that buying is on the greater scheme of things, that's not significant. It didn't break the trend. This was what I mentioned yesterday. There was some buying coming here, but it did not break structure, right? This was the H4 order block that the buying that came in here should have broken to tell us, okay, something has changed, and that never happened. So basically, all this buying we saw before was just retracing the impulsive move to the downside. So now the question is this breaking or not bearish structures? Because for to me, before I start going, um, consider like a bigger time frame long, it needs to start breaking structures. And one of the things that I have is, of course, we have a H4 order block right there. So that's going to be the first task the market will have in 47 minutes. Break above it, or and even if it can't, I mean, close. Even if it can't close above it, and it hold it and keep on pushing. Those are the signs that we will be seeing if price, and it looks like it is going to do that. But I want to see it happen first. I want to see it close in 47 minutes above that bearish structure, so that I can consider it invalidated and as a bullish sign. And the next area that I have, which would be, if I get in anything, would be this area for a day trade, which is the next order block on the H4. So to me, if I get any entry, which would be when price comes back in that order block, right, for the continuation out, maybe it will not do it. Maybe it will, but that's the only way I can get in, right? When it retraces back into some demand area, and I will be targeting the next structure above is, depending on what we see by then. But so far, this would be one of the structures that I would be targeting. Remind you guys, EU is today's range is only 23 pips. So everything you see may be just sideways movement until it actually breaks on one side. It looks like it's breaking to the upside, but is it? I mean, it's only 23 pips. It can still from here continue its way to the downside, because we have seen so many structures being formed, so many selling pressure. I'm not too sure yet that it's going to continue go up. Like certainly, I'm not there yet, but yes, I see it, and I would be trading it long as soon as it starts breaking that H4 order block and forming bullish ones, right? This would be my bullish order block, and I would go to lower time frames. I don't see anything yet, but that can change by the time it comes back. Maybe there is something bullish that I can take within that order block for the trade. That's something. Of course, the elephant in the room, and you mentioned it rightfully so, Jonatan, is GU, right? All GU, all pound pairs today had a massive selling after that news came out. It was worse than expected, or actually it was lower than expected, right? So um, let's see, the CPI was lower than expected, so less inflation, um, and it's worse than expected because the number is lower. But of course, lower inflation is typically good for the economy. However, the market, regardless of the interpretation of the news, the price action speaks volume, right? It was sold off massively, and that changed everything. I think that's the major topic, perhaps, to for everyone who was trading GU and I don't know other pound pairs, but GU in any case. We had yesterday, for those who remember, we had a an order block here that we were on the H4 that we were respecting very nicely, and things started to look like it could worse from here, and perhaps you know promise something much higher for coming days. And what did it do? Price fundamental news came out, and it just crushed whatever structure there was here. Whatever bullish scenario is now deeply destroyed. There's nothing to this is there's nothing bullish anymore about this. It's completely gone. And that's peculiar because the GU was kind of little bullish. Although it was in a bearish trend, it had like a little bit of more bullish buyingness, buyers coming in compared to EU yesterday. But that flipped. Today, EU is being bought, and this, with this news, GU is looking much more bearish. So it's completely switched from yesterday. When you compare these two pairs. So that's interesting for me to, since I trade those two pairs mainly. I see the difference, right? Yesterday I was wanting to take a long on GU. And today it's the other way around. I want to be shorting this, right? I want to see how a price comes back into some area, and perhaps for that continuation, because that's what the price is telling me right now. It's not coming back. It's not, it's not showing strength. It is just retracing that massive sellout that we saw this morning. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the importance
Guys,
of having risk
we're
management.
getting a lot of talk about gold, which is I definitely understand why, because it looks like we're probably almost going to break into new all-time highs. But before we look at gold, I want to show you guys something quickly here. So, not sure if you've seen the video or you've seen the announcement, but we do have something coming up for you guys. It's going to be pretty big. So here's a quick teaser for all of you to see. Yep, it's pretty cool.
It is.
So yeah,
it makes you want to move your body.
Pretty cool coming up.
Some cool sound there.
What? Sorry, I didn't have my speakers on for some reason.
I said the audio is the sound, the background sound is cool. It makes you want to move.
It is. Yeah, that's right. It's pretty good. Definitely did a good job with that one. Yeah. So yeah, bootcamp week, very cool. Coming up. I don't know. Like I don't want to tell you everything. Like I want to tell you everything because it's so amazing. It's so cool. I've seen the plan. I've seen the plan. I've seen what you guys are going to go through. We got 8 expert traders talking about, their expertise, helping you out in trading. And there's assignments. You're going to get assignments. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be like a boot camp, week, a trading boot camp. Pretty awesome. So you're going to get more information on, that. I need a perfect setup for today. Any tips? Now, okay, there's so much to talk about with this question right here. And there's so many layers that we can peel of this question right here. You don't need a setup, okay? You don't need a setup. You need a system. And if you need a trade setup, then you're looking at it the wrong way, okay? Because we don't need to trade, okay? We don't need to trade. We don't need setups. What we need to do is we need to observe the market, and we need to wait for the market to tell me when the setup that we have in our system is ready to take. And we can, of course, give you a setup based on my system. Victor can give you a setup based on his system. The setups that we're showing you here on these live streams are not meant for you to follow. It's not meant for you to, all right, I'm going to take that entry with the exact same entry, exact same stop loss, and exact same TP. That never works. Okay, if you can become profitable and rich by following signals, I would not be trading. I would not be here. I would just follow a signal service on Telegram. But guess what? No one has ever, it never works. It just never works. The way it works is if you want to get value out of this or a signal service or whatever, which this isn't, then what you want to do is you want to look at the trades we're taking, and you want to think, why are you entering there? Why do you have that TP? Why do you have that stop loss? And then let us explain why we're taking this trade, exactly how we're taking that trade. Because then what you're going to do and what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to go into the markets. You're going to open up TradingView or MetaTrader, and you'll be able to find these trades on your own without asking us for a setup. You know that saying, teach a man to fish something, and he'll have lots of fishes. Something along those lines. Yeah, but yeah, so but yeah, I'm still gonna help you here. So let's see. Do we have anything today? Okay. Do we have something here? I got so lucky on that one. I got so lucky on that wick right there. Do we have something here on NCD CHF? No, we got nothing here. We got GBP USD. We got nothing on GBP USD. Wait, I just got a message. Okay, sorry, got completely distracted. Okay, so we got Euro USD, nothing here. AD CHF, nothing for me. AD, I'm really trying. So USD CAD, we talked about this one yesterday, and I said if we have a bearish engulfing candle here in the 4 hour, that's a possible short. I still think that would have been a good trade. Like, just very simple. Just enter on the close of that candle, stops above that wick, and I would even have, with my system, I would even have a I would already have hit that TP. Now, it's very low probability though, because what's happening here is, I don't know what the saying is. When you're trying to catch a falling knife, you're obviously trying to buy a down. But what about the reverse? I think what we talked about this, and I think you, Victor, you said that it's like standing in front of a moving train. I think
I think I did. Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is, right? Taking a short here, it's almost like, standing in front of a moving train and saying like, stop for a minute, it's not gonna work. But so I want some extra confirmation, extra probability. But we do have a possible trade here on USD CAD. If we go back to the daily, we look at this major resistance area right here. Very big wick on a daily right here. The daily candle, I believe, closed as a very good bearish rejection candle at this major resistance area, and the 4 hour confirmed that as well with a 4 hour bearish engulfing candle and the next strong bearish candle. However, we do see that we're finding support right here. Now, what would invalidate this trend? Remember, this is still an uptrend. It's important to note that this is still an uptrend. It's as dangerous, if not more dangerous, to go short here than it was up here, because it's the same trend and it's still an uptrend. But if we break below this level, that to me, and also a retest here, that to me will be a very solid top formation, and we're looking at something like this. And then that would be a short for me. That's why I have my alerts down here on USD CAD. So I'm going to move this up to the first part of that priority list. We're going to be looking at Euro CAD. We do have a possible trade on Euro CAD as well on a retest of that level, but it's not super clean because it has already tested like this level here. We have a bounce here. So if you're going to go short here, then you probably want to exit at the FTA, which means the risk to reward of this trade is not very good. But I do see a potential of a break and retest of that level. So basically something like that. I'm going to move that up because it's actually, no, this is not really what I'm supposed to be trading. So I'm going to move that down. NCD CAD, I obviously, missed. I didn't miss this because I didn't get confirmation on the 4 hour. But if you look at the 1 hour, it's a beautiful structure break right here on that level, which I quite like. If I would be trading this on the 1 hour, then I would be trading based on a break and retest of that level right there. Let's see. But we got on 80 NCD, nothing here. NCD USD. Yeah, this is also a, for me, quite obvious trade. If we can get a break and retest of this level, then I will be start looking at longs, because we have on a daily NCD USD hitting a very obvious level here on the daily. And if we do get a break of structure in the 4 hour, and you can clearly see that we have a potential double bottom here in the 4 hour. So something like this would, of course, mean a trade. But then we also have to take into consideration this level right here. So yeah, it's a very, very confusing price action this week, I must say. Very all over the place. I don't know about you guys, but it's just lots of uncertainty here.
But then again,
going back to this question, sorry, Victor, but
go ahead.
Going back to this question that we talked about. So this is the same person says, the market seems uncertain to use my system, better to use the pro system in times like this. My system is no different from your system, okay? So what I'm saying is, just because I'm a professional doesn't mean I'm trading a different system than anyone else. I'm still using technical analysis. Like I'm looking at it, I'm literally just looking at daily support, and if I get a 4-hour break of structural support, I'll be buying. It's probably way more simpler than your system, and if I'm going to be honest, it's your system might also be more profitable, because my system is not super profitable. It's designed to be simple and easy to execute. And if you look into your system, I think you're so there's nothing different, really. It's just the fact that our approaches might be different because of experience. So for example, when I decide to wait for a 4-hour candle, you might already have taken 2 trades. Things like that is what makes all the difference. Okay, Victor, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm not sure yet anymore. No, but yeah, I was looking into gold and
what do you think?
And dollar cat. Well, about the systems, yes. I think people in general put too much pressure or expectation on the system. You can take a very good system, and if you don't have everything in place, if you're sloppy with your execution, that can delete or take away the profitability. And you can have a very simple, not immensely profitable system, but if you're able to and you can put it in the right hands, someone who's consistent, disciplined, and that person can make fortune out of it. So it's not about necessarily about the system. System, yes, is a component. Yes, it has to be profitable, but there's a lot more going on, and just the system will not make you profitable. I can give anyone in this in the audience my system with the exact rules, and I bet you the majority of them will not make it profitable, just because
that's
they don't have the data that I have. They don't have the confidence that I have, because which is based on the data, and the system is not customized for their personality. So they're not going to be able to execute it as they should to make it profitable. So the system is a component, but it's you're not even halfway there with only a profitable system. So and yes, a signal service is anything that is a shortcut, and a certain signal service is let's face it, let's be honest, it's a shortcut. Any shortcut in reality normally it looks to be the quickest way to be profitable, but in long run it isn't, because it's not durable. Whatever profits you get, it's not something that you can live off from in the long run. It doesn't make sense. What makes sense is to learn how to trade, build your skills yourself, know how to build your system, right? And that's going to feed you your whole lifetime, not just today with that fish that we can offer you, but it's not what you want for today, right? So but even so, we offer everyone, actually, when we analyze the market, ideas, right? Concepts, and it's up to you to see if that is something that fits in your system. But you should be trading your system and on the observation, on the structures, on the patterns that we identify, or it doesn't have to be us, but others might bring your attention to the fact that something is overextended, something is getting ready to break out, and it's up to you to use your tools. And that's what a system is. It's a tool.
Exactly.
In the end, it's a tool which you can use in a very systematic way to capture a portion of the move. That's a system. And it depends on whose hand that tool is. It's very personal. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the system. don't want to be you know sound like a teacher, but
You
the
kind of
best.
are, though. I mean, you have a lot of knowledge, and you're definitely. I mean, that's what we're doing here. We're explaining our concepts, and you're also in the Discord having very good webinars, helping people out. So you're definitely a type of teacher, Victor. And you're very good at it. So don't think anything else.
Well, thank you for those
While
nice
I
words,
said
but yeah, it's fine. I don't. Yeah, sure. Perhaps if it helps others, then yes, I don't mind being seen as a teacher.
Well, I'll set up the giveaway link and the secret code and everything. I'm going to be adding that to the description. Maybe you could pop up gold and take a look at that.
Yes, I was looking into gold as you were talking before, and also the that dollar CAD chart, which I think is very interesting for, or not only for today, but actually for the coming days, because it's a huge range. It makes sense on. Let me change it to. Let me put my screen on, and that's the dollar CAD. I'll come back to gold, but just mention this. Yesterday, of course, we 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 were talking about how it is reaching that, at least my area is a little higher, and from that point it could start building some selling pressure, and if so, I was looking into something, a setup something like this, right? Some idea like this, but of course it needs to present itself in the proper way, and without reaching it yet, it already is looking like there's something has changed, right? You can see on the price action that we haven't had any selling in this whole area, but yet we have like not four, two bearish H4 back to back, which are telling us that the momentum is slowing down. Perhaps I wouldn't assume this is a reversal yet. It's very nothing on the great scheme of things, but it does look. If you go in a lower time frame, you can see how this could be seen as maybe a beginning, right? A beginning where you have a impulsive move, consolidation, perhaps for that continuation, right? That it looks very suspicious for that, and maybe it is. I don't know. I don't have anything yet. I do have a quasi on the H2, as you can see here. That's the neckline. That's one of the entry order block, and the other one is what tighter, a bit more tighter, deeper into that order block on the H4. But even so, I'm not saying this is the beginning of anything yet. This is just selling coming to the market, something that we haven't seen before yet. But uh, we'll have to see. I don't have enough information to assume this is putting a top for the time being. I would say it probably has a lot more price discovery to do, right? Getting into that area, and then we will see if it starts getting a reversal pattern. But coming to gold, which what I think there we go. Let's see, gold. Yep. Okay, so what I see is, I mean, we have been saying this there for some time now. Gold is, I mean, extremely bullish. There's nothing else to be seen. If you just zoom out enough, you'll see that almost every month for the almost the whole year, it's been ending up higher than it started. Right? That already tells you in what kind of market we are. This is not Forex where you're ranging, consolidating, and then breaking out again. This is just going almost straight up every month. So that's what you're against. If you think anyone who would think, oh, it might be topping here, it might be, it's going to reverse. It has to reverse. No, it doesn't have to reverse. The market can continue to go up, even though it may seem, not logical or not to be expected. So that's one thing. But how do you trade this, right? So the bias on the higher time frame is obviously it's a bullish bias. But how do you trade this? And that's kind of difficult, because if you don't have you don't have anything to the left. So what can you use to the left? you don't have anything. So the only thing you have is current price action, and current price action. I like to be buying in weakness and selling in strength, and this is strength to me. I don't see any price coming back into some order block which can give me value. So on the higher time frame, I don't see opportunities. If yes, it's a great buy, but we should have been already in it on the higher time frame. So that's for gold. On the daily, of course, we can wait for price to come back into some demand area, and this is the one of the obvious demand area. There is a little order block here as well. It's almost, the bot is very very small, so that gives me the once gives me the idea to start looking for other price feeds to see if it has a body. This one has a body. Let me check another one. Well, most of them have a body, so I'm going to assume that that body is visible for majority of people. And yes, so in that case, let's come back to Oanda, which is the ones I use, mostly the price feed. So I will consider this to be a demand area price, where if price comes back into it, that's a place that I'm would be interested in buying. So below us at a place of demand. And if we go lower time frame, you can see that we can spot some. Let's see, the neckline would be here. There, is that correct? No, actually, no. The neckline would be. Actually, I can't find it. Yep, neckline would be here. Okay, so that would be the neckline. And if we do this, you can see that if it's only a scenario, I don't know if this is going to happen. I mean, I don't think anyone knows, but if this were to come back either before or after taking out that previous all-time high, which is at what, at 2686 or 85 something, and a change, if it, after taking it and it comes back into this area of demand, that's the place that I would be interested in buying. Because here, of course, it can continue. It's very bullish, and eventually, I think it's going to end up going higher. But you know, I don't see the value there buying. At this point, any at least not yet. Maybe on a lower time frame, of course, you can take other trades if you go to a lower time frame. Of course, we can see this H4. So that would be something for a day trade. If it comes back into that area, then I would be interested in it taking a long from there if on the lower time frame it shows signs of reversals. Other than that, I don't think it's a great place to be buying here. It's right into resistance, right? It's the previous high. I don't think that's the setup. The setup is waiting for price to come back. If you're not already in it, wait for price to come back and buy it at the demand, because demand surely it has. So let's see. Someone is asking, are we trading Robins? I'm not trading Robins.
No, you mean the World Cup or the trading competition?
I don't know. I only saw this comment. Trading Robins. No. Yeah, I'm not trading Robins.
I think trading competitions are it's a bit weird, because you're not. It's a fun thing, and I thought about it. It's I'm probably 1 year I'm probably going to do it just for fun, but what's. I mean, I know I'm not going to place at one. I'm not the best trader out there. Like I'm not going to place at one making hundreds of % in a year, like in the Forex market. No way. And also, I feel like trading competitions is a bit weird, because in trading, you're never competing against anyone else than yourself. So being good in a trading competition doesn't necessarily mean that you're good at trading. I mean, you're probably very good at trading if you're also getting very good results in the Robins Cup, but it's two different things. Like, you can't really compete in trading because you're only competing against yourself. And if you make, 40 or 50% in a year that's very, very good returns. In the Robbins Cup, you see people having hundreds of percent in a year, which is cool. Very nice to be able to make that amount. But it's, I guess it's nice to have the bragging rights though. It's a pretty cool thing. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm not a
interesting. Maybe.
I'm not a fan of competition. I mean, yeah, perhaps bragging rights, perhaps if you want to measure things, but what's the purpose? I mean, I'm here to earn money, not necessarily be better than others. I want to be
Well, the
better than
purpose is
myself.
if it let's say let's just assume that okay, you join the Robbins Cup next year, and then you yeah, but Robbins Cup is not demo; it's actually a real account, I think. But anyway, so you join the Robbins Cup next year, and let's just imagine we have at the top we have Victor, the masked trader. Okay, now if you win the Robbins Cup, all you really have to do is record a trading course, put it out, sell it for, I don't know, like a couple of thousands of dollars, and say, I won the Robbins Cup, and here's how you can do it as well if you buy my course. That's I guess that's why most people want to win the Robbins Cup, because one, they have the bragging rights, and if you win and you already have like massive capital, then obviously you don't need that. But what I see most of all is like winning the Robbins Cup or placing well in the Robbins Cup is a way for you to move forward in your trading career, which for a lot of people, most people means education, selling more education, being able to get more customers. It's basically, I think that's basically what it is. Now, no disrespect to the Robbins Cup, I think it's a pretty cool competition, but does it mean that you're a good trader? Probably, but you can't really. I would be more interested in your overall 10-year results.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it's just my personal preference, but I don't see that much added value for, at least for myself, to compete with anyone. I want
If
to
I would
compete
be
with
able to
my.
make if I would be able to make like 500 or 600% in a year in the Forex market, then yeah, I would join the Robbins Cup. But the the way that works is if you're going to be able to make that amount of money, you have to risk a lot. So it's there's a fairly low risk that you're going to win the Robbins Cup by having an approach and a system like that. So it's almost up to luck if you're going to place on that first spot, because we know how the markets work. You can't make 400% in a year in the Forex market without risking quite a lot. So yeah, it's obviously very, very difficult, and I do think there's not luck, but there's definitely a timing aspect of it. You have to be able to yeah, never mind, doesn't matter. Let's look at gold.
Yeah. Well, so those are the ideas that I have for when price comes in. Someone asked, I think something a question very specific. Let's see, where was it? I was gonna say, by the way, the only competition I want to be in is with myself. I want to be better
Yeah,
than I
that's
was
right.
a week ago, a month ago. That's the competition I'm interested in. Competing with other people, it's cool, but is it really going to make you a better trader? I don't think so. All right, so let's see. Someone asked me. Okay, so this question I liked, from Hassam Abid, asking what is it. I'm supposed Hassam saw or watched when that I said I want to be buying as price comes back into some area of demand, either on this H4 order block or maybe the daily, and ask what confirmation do I see. Well, my confirmation comes from lower time frames, so I don't put in a limit order just there to wait for price to come there, and I assume that it's going to bounce from there. I have tested that, of course, a different variation, and I couldn't make it profitable, or at least not uh, clearly profitable. It was maybe sometimes profitable, but not consistently. So what you need to do is have a lot of observation and try to figure out what is it that the market does when it gets there. try to see if there's a pattern. And what I use is I go to the lower time frame, and I look for patterns that I use, order blocks and quansies, that will give me a better chance of basically knowing a little bit in advance what is the market trying to do, right? Just reading the market. Is it slowing down as it gets to that order block? Is it trying to reverse or not? And then, if everything is theirs, then I will put a trade, and hopefully it will reverse. And if not, I'm going to be stopped out. But that's it. There's nothing there you can do other than that. You're just putting the probabilities in your favor. And the way I do it is from structures, patterns on the lower time frame. So if I'm trading a H4 order block, H4, I would be going to the H2 or H1 and wait for price as it comes in, right? I have a straight line here, but price doesn't do that in a straight line. It does this, right? And it doesn't even do that exactly, right? And as it gets in, it may do something like this and then do a quasi. It doesn't always use a quasi as a pattern to move around, but that's basically what I'm doing. And I would be looking for the neckline. If Hassam, if you stay with us some time, you will see me doing it basically all the time, and I will be trying to catch that right shoulder, right? This would be the left shoulder, that would be the head, and that's where I would zoom in and try to catch my entry. And actually, I don't even take it on the 1 hour either. I'm gonna go into the 5 minute, right? And what, you can see it here, can I? Yes, I can. I would wait for that right shoulder, and as it is going, let me see, can I say it? Well, maybe I have to move this around. Um, as price is coming in, I will actually be looking for another quasi on the lower time frame. And as you see, I'm applying the fact that the market is fractal, right? I take a higher time frame, and then on the hourlies, and then on the minutes, until I find my entries on the minutes. But the idea is that I'm actually trading. It is the 4 hour order block, right? And if it starts shifting as I suspect it would, then of course I can write it out all the way to structures which make sense on the H4. And that's basically that's the confirmation. That's how I get my entries.
So a quick question there on that setup here. You were so you had that downtrend, and then you had that first move up to break a previous high, and that to you is, if there's an order block below, then that's when you put in orders, right?
Exactly.
If you go back to that structure.
Okay. Let me highlight it all, and I'll move it somewhere else so that we can analyze it a little bit better. So what I would do is
a little bit.
Yeah, I will make it clearer for everyone. Right, so this move, the bigger this line, this straight line, is what we see on the higher time frame. But when you zoom in, you will see this zigzag, this succession of lower highs, basically a downtrend, right? And it's at the break of the structure. It breaks the structure and it comes back. I know other people would trade this differently. They will the break of that structure, and they will look for that retest. I mean, Jonatan does this, right? You wait for that retest, and sometimes the market doesn't go that deep, right? That left shoulder sometimes is something like this, and that's not a trade that I would take. I will leave that for Jonatan. But and when this comes much deeper, Jonatan, you wouldn't trade this, right?
No.
When the right shoulder goes, you wouldn't trade that, right? So we're competing. We're not competing. We have different scenarios where we are activated per our system. And that's what I do, and I would go in that area, and I would look for structures in this leg, from the head to the highest point that it made before the right shoulder, the presumed right shoulder. So, and I will look for reason in this leg to tell me that where did the buyers come in previously, and where are they likely to come in again. and using that, I try to put the odds in my favor so that I can uh, uh, identify the areas it's going to reverse or not, and then I go to the lower time frames. Let me see if I can. Maybe I should mark it somehow. There you go. That's the well. I will go to the lower time frames. This is the 5-minute, right, from the whole structure, and there I would be looking for a quasi as well, and it could be even a lower time frame. It doesn't have to be a 5-minute. It can be something like this. I keep on using the same structure, right? This reversal on the lower time frame, when you zoom in, you might, not always, but it might do it as a quasi. And if it does, then that's my cue to get into the market. So
I like that.
that's my confirmation. All right, so let's see if we have any other.
I'm finally getting close to understanding your your trading style, and I like it. I really do like the yeah, I like it. I think because a lot of times, so cover this. I don't trade ICT, but from what I have seen, they have new names for basic trading. This is not ICT. What Victor is doing here is not ICT. Order blocks is not ICT. I don't think ICT came up with the word order blocks. I think actually, I do. I mean, I remember seeing order blocks quite early, and I remember seeing content from, I believe, Trader Dante talked about perhaps order blocks or a variant of order blocks back in 2015. So yeah, it's not ICT. It's order blocks. It's a very simple thing. Basically, it's just it's just the last up or the last down candle before the last bullish or bearish candle before a breakout structure. Yeah. It's quite,
All right.
but yeah, I like this. So, but to a question, if you remove that, if you go back to what you just had on, yeah, okay. So the blue line right there.
Yep.
So the blue line right there, when price first gets above that blue line, is that when you get interested in a possible trade?
Exactly. If it doesn't touch the blue line, I have nothing to do.
Okay.
There is no
Great.
reversal. It needs to break that high to be a reversal. As long as it doesn't
So
break it,
basically,
there can be a reversal.
So basically, you're trading the same way as I am, but you
Yes.
can enter. You look for entries much lower than I am, because you're not looking at entries at the breakout. You're looking at the order block, which is usually much lower.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very interesting.
And there are more to this, of course. This is an oversimplification of my strategy. Of course, it's not that simple, but I mean, this is the core. This is what it is about. And there's more nuance to when do I apply this, how do I do this, what is on the lower time for my confirmation, where do I put my stop, what do I target, which ones do I take, are there specific ones that I don't take, and things like that. But I mean, those are specific, but this is the basic building, the fundamental of the strategy that I take, and which utilizes top-down analysis and the fractal nature of the market, using only order blocks and quasis, which are quasimodos, which is they are head and shoulder, basically just a little different. And how do I know that this is the left shoulder, and how do I know that maybe this is the left shoulder, right? Those are rules you have to decide for yourself, because if this is the left shoulder, that means the structure is here and it didn't break it yet, right? If this is the left shoulder, then the breakup structure would be here, and I would only be interested if price gets this high, right? So those rules are things you have to find out for yourself. But that's basically it. And of course, in the market, the market doesn't move in perfect downtrends like I've illustrated here. It has a lot of randomness in it. So it's it's very important you have rules so you can dissect that randomness and see the actual signals and structures and things you need, the cues of what price is trying to do.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We have a question here. When a new trader is backtesting, okay, so you're a new trader, you're backtesting your system. What details would we suggest that he gathers? What statistics and details would he want to look at? I think it's the answer is a bit complicated. It depends on your strategy and the way you're trading. It also kind of depends on the software or the system you're using when you're backtesting and what stage of backtesting you're in. But of course, the first and the most important thing that you want to be measuring is the win rate and the risk to reward, so you can get an idea of what the win rate is of the system and what the average risk to reward is of the system, and then you can combine that win rate and risk to reward and look at, is it actually worth trading? Is it profitable? If it has a low win rate and not very high risk to reward, and you find yourself with a system that isn't very profitable, then you'll have to do some more work. But other things that you want to be looking at as well is you want to be able to select all the data necessary to look at the average drawdown of your system and your max drawdown of the system as well, because this is going to be very important when you then calculate the risk per trade or the risk that you're going to be taking when you're trading. Because you might have a very good system, but if you ignore your max drawdown or your average drawdown, you might look at, for example, you might look at max losses in a row, and you might say, oh, this system here has a max consecutive loss of 3 trades in a row, and then you'll say that's perfect, there's only a 3R drawdown or a 3 trade drawdown of the system. But imagine if you have 3 losers and then a winner, and then 2 more losers, 2 more winners, and then 3 more losers, which means you have a much deeper drawdown than only 3R. So that's very important as well when you calculate the risk. And other things that I would recommend is looking at the trading session. I would mark out which time of the day are you taking the trades, because you can then see which of the different trading sessions you're more profitable in. You also want to look at the day of the week, because you might see quite normal thing that I'm seeing is people are finding out that they're more profitable on Monday or they're more profitable on Friday. And for a lot of people, that means that, let's say, for example, you're trading all day of the week and you see in your back testing that you're never profitable on Mondays, or you're net losing on Mondays. Well, then it's quite simple. You either stop trading on Monday or you look for clues on how to change your trading on Mondays. You probably also want to track news releases and news event to see if because with a lot of systems that I've been trading, especially swing trading systems, I've seen that news releases doesn't matter. It doesn't make the system more profitable or less profitable. So it's good to know that if you want to ignore the news, you can have that confidence in backtesting. Now, of course, I don't recommend ignoring the news, but it's good to know that if you do ignore the news, it's statistically, it doesn't matter for your system. And of course, profit factor. But it also depends on what stage of backtesting you're in, because you might be in the stage where you're working on your entry trigger. And if you're at the stage where you're working on your entry trigger, then you need to have all the criterias for a possible entry trigger. You need to track all of those on every trade. Now, that's not true if you already have a working entry trigger. Maybe you're working on your take profit strategy. Then you need to have different take profit strategies to track simultaneously, parallel to each other, to see which one is better. So I would start by doing it one step at a time. You should probably first work on an entry trigger, and then after that work on a stop loss placement, and then after that a take profit placement. And then when you have something, a combination of these three that actually works, then it's time to look at trading sessions, a day of the week, and things like that. But you first have to actually test the three different things. Victor, I'm thinking that we're going to do a 10-minute break, and when we're back from that 10-minute break, I will start setting up the giveaway, and then we'll take another look at we'll take a look at EU, because I'm getting a lot of questions on EU specifically. This person here is asking about a possible sell on the lower timeframes on EU. So we'll take a look at that once we're back from the break.
Yes.
All right. See you in 10 minutes. All right, we are back. Let's see.
We definitely are.
Do we have gold? Do we have gold breaking out? Let's see.
Not really. That blue line is the previous high, that all-time high. We're very close to it. The all-time high is at 85.64, and we just hit. Not long ago, we hit 5 minutes ago. We hit the high was at 81. So basically $4 away from it. So it looks like it's going to break it, unless there's anything happening. I don't expect anything to stop it from breaking it. So we'll have to see how the price action, what it does once it breaks it. Does it start it? Does it hold it as it gets out, or does it come back and trigger seller buyers to get in, only to go deeper and into demand area, and perhaps later go up. Yeah, buying breakouts are tricky, so you got to know what you do. You got to be yeah, you got to be sharp. You got to be on the ball with that.
Definitely, buying breakouts is low probability, low win rate. So if you are going to buy a breakout, make sure that you are make sure that you have a good structure and good system for doing so. What I would do is probably wait for at least a 4 hour candle above the level to before I start looking at trading breakout, a candle confirmation above. But I'm not a breakout trader. I've never been a breakout trader, so I'm not the right person to ask for advice when it comes to that. But gold, it does look very, very strong. We also have a level below, like around 2,663 or something like that. That previous support area, I think, for possible retest of that level, possible long.
You mean that one or this one?
I think both.
They're very close. Yeah, they're very close to each other.
Yeah,
Probably
I think
they're
both of them are pretty
same
good.
area that
That
yeah, yeah, basically they're the same area, just a little. It's an area. Both are at the same area.
yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. But I think if well, it depends what kind of trader you are, right? I'm not a breakout trader, so I'm not able, and I think you are not either. So I would be, as I said, I would want price to show me first what it wants to do. Either it breaks it, comes back, that's fine. If it breaks it and stays there, but then come later, that's a good sign. It broke that level, but it needs to come into some demand, and that's where I would be buying it for the continuation as it goes up. But that's the way I trade, right? I want to see price coming into my level. I don't want to be letting price pushing me into the trade. I want it to come to me, not I'm not gonna go chase it. But that's just me. There is something I think is worth mentioning in EU, right? We were talking about how there's a lot of buying coming in today. Let's see, the daily hasn't shifted anything. There's nothing to be seen on the daily, but if you look at the 4 hour, it failed to close as an engulfing, right? That's one thing. Even though yes, it's going from this low, it has the lowest point of the day. It has come up quite a lot, and considering this whole wick, it went up very high. But the question is, why wasn't able to close as at least as an engulfing? It wasn't that much to ask. So it looks like a very good move, but it's not showing me everything yet. What I would say is, what I would see is this: we are. Let me close this order block, which wasn't formed. We have a bearish order block, which is in line with the trend, and yes, it is kind of weak, but because of the fact that the wick was able to squeeze that order block with little difficulty. So the question that I have is, is this enough to push price, this order block to push price to lower levels? Um, and the task for this is on the H2 there isn't anything, right? There isn't anything, but on the H1 I do see that there is this level from the left that we have come into, and looks like it looks like this, right? It looks like this, as in it's going to a flag formation where it's going to be continuing consolidation before it breaks out again. That's what it looks like. However, there is this area. It's not a coincidence. Price from this level went up all the way up. That's quite relatively a big portion if you consider the other ranges we've had so far. And from this point it's having some consolidation, or see it as some difficulty to continue. So to me, I want to see, can it break and clear out this level between these two yellow lines? If it can, then yes, I think then we can assume that this is a reversal pattern, and it is showing us all the signs that we need to see for a continuation, meaning this looks like market indeed would be has shifted, is in the process of shifting for a much, not much, but a bullish, a less bearish stance, I would say. However, if it's not able to do that, then I'm going to, if hampers, or it's failing at taking out uh, this level, right, this area, and then meaning taking it out and continue this way. If it fails to do that, then I'm going to consider that this order block is what is causing this structure, this reversal pattern, bearish reversal. And if that were to happen, it would make a lot of sense, because in the last few days we have been, the sellers have been dominant all the time, basically all the time, except for a few exceptions. And on the, if we go to the 15-minute, there isn't anything to see. If you go to the 5-minute, there isn't really much to see. On the, even on the 3 and the on the 1, there's only this little bleep here that I saw, but it is above the area that needs to be defended, right? So it's that little area where the sellers came in, right? Maybe we'll see what it does. But to me, that's already that's way too high. I'm not able to use that as an entry structure, right? Because it's supposed to be something below or within this area, not above it. If price is able to get above it, to me, that's already a sign that this structure is failing at holding price, and you don't want to be seeing that if you think it's going to go short, right? You don't. That's the general idea. If this area is strong enough to retrace, to change price's direction, it shouldn't be able to go much higher for a very long time. For a little while it's okay, but it shouldn't be needing to go all that high. So that's what I'm looking at. And the other option is, right, that price does something like this, another quasi somewhere. It can squeeze that area a little bit, as it has in the past, but it has to form a new one. If that is okay, then this makes a lot of sense, right? Because the market is loves to jump the gun, right? We see the participants see that something is happening, and we as human, we tend to think, this is it, this is the moment, while the market tricks people into trading long and short. However, that doesn't mean it's going to run all the time.
Yeah, let me see if I have anything on EU here.
I'm waiting to see if there's a reversal pattern here, and I don't see it. Reversal short, of course. There, it's not there, so there isn't anything for me. And on all the other time frames, I don't see anything. So if that's the case, I'll just wait, sit on my hands, and wait uh, for another setup.
All right, so EU. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here, or looking for, I should say. But I remember we had someone asking about the lower time frames, if we had anything that looks good on the lower time frames for EU. And because of the fact that the trend is still bearish on the 4-hour, I would want to look for a short on the lower time frames because of the trend. But then on the daily, we have major support here. We're at major support. So difficult for me to short this. I read in our WhatsApp group that Abe took a short here. He got in on a short here based on, I guess, based on that
Very nice trade, by
untested
the way.
level up here. Yeah, that was a good trade.
That was a very good one. Abe has
The
been
secret code, by the way, the secret code is in the description of the video. The link to the giveaway and the secret code to the giveaway is in the link of the description, or in the description of the video. Yeah. So I don't think I'm seeing any trade, honestly, on EU. I mean, even on the lower time frames, we
go ahead. There's a little
even on
delay.
the lower time frames. Yeah, I think there's a delay here. Even on the lower time frames, I'm not really seeing anything. I mean, I guess this would have been a good entry, but the move has already happened. I'm not really sure I want to get in on this now that. Yeah, so for EU, I simply don't have anything for EU, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, if I may switch back for a little while, that's what I'm seeing. The price should be reacting and forming reversal pattern within these two lines for it to make sense to me, and it's not doing that. It's clearly disregarding that area as it went down, which is okay because it's a bearish structure, but it shouldn't disregard it as it is going up. So either it starts showing that reversal right now before getting above it, or it's not going to reverse from this area, and then there's nothing to do for me.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's no point looking at a pair when there's nothing to do with it, really. Can't find anything. It's not really worth trying hard to find something. If it's not super obvious from the very beginning, then I don't think there's much to do.
On the 1 minute, okay. On the 1 minute, that would be my neckline. So if price were to break that, that could be the first sign. It's only on the 1 minute, but that would be the first sign that market might be trying to reverse to do something like that. But if it keeps on going higher, then obviously that's not its intention, and I would just assume that it's going to continue to go up, right? So depending on what it does, I will be having a setup or not.
Yeah, and we have, like we said earlier, we have Lagarde speaking, and then tomorrow we have ECB press conference, interest rate decision, which obviously both of these events could potentially act as very strong catalysts. And like I've said so many times in the past, when price is at a high time frame level and you get catalysts like that, you usually have a reaction depending on if you're at support or resistance. So I think the most likely scenario here is for EU to put in a bottom.
Isn't this a beauty?
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's insane. That is perfect.
Isn't this just a beauty? Isn't that, I mean, isn't that perfect?
I think there's a massive lag. I don't know about you guys, but I think there's a massive lag here between me and Victor, and I think it's my connection. Perhaps there's something wrong with it. But yeah, that is an absolutely beautiful rejection right there, and it hit the order block perfectly right there.
I think there isn't even a pipette of difference between this order block, which the lower level is 97.6 and the high of this candle is 97.6. So it's to the pipette perfect.
So how would you have traded that though? Would you have had your orders right on that level?
There's many ways to trade it. As I said, the position, the location of the order block, I don't like, right? Because it's above the area that supposedly is going to stop price. So that's one thing that you need to watch out for. Anything that is above this area, anything that is above that order block, basically has a low probability of working, right? However, in this case, price went very shortly outside and is now reacting, and we don't have any reversal here yet in from price from, let me get this straight, from this price action. We don't have a reversal yet. If there's no reversal, then price is not going to go down. It has to have a break of structure within here as well. There's no other way. It's not going to go down if there's no reversal there. So there are a couple of things. And yes, you may try to put limit orders here and get your orders, but that's a difficult trade, because many times it will not respect it. This doesn't happen all the time. Of course it doesn't, right? Where it reacts, but the fact that it does react it from time to time tells you that there is something there. There are sellers waiting to sell that area. As soon as it gets it, it leaves a wick, and it forms a bearish order block in this case, and another one, right? What does that tell us? It reacts on that, leaves that wick, forms a bearish order block, forms another one, and keeps on selling. So apparently, obviously, there's something here that caused that. What is it? If we look to the left, that's the order block. And this is I know some people, well, we can draw our order blocks any way we want, right? It's your order block, if so to speak. So it can have any shape you want it to have. But a lot of traders, they put it the whole candle, right? But I prefer to have it as tight as possible, to the beginning, in this case to the open of that bar. And when I see when price reacts with this precision to it, to me it's a sign that this is how I should be doing it. And even the fact that it reacted doesn't mean all the time that now it's gonna come down as a brick. Doesn't happen all the time. But this is if you can start off with identifying the areas that the market will at least react from, that already puts the probabilities in your favor, because if it is going to reverse, this is one of the areas it might be reacting, will react to, and use the reverse price. But it doesn't mean it's going to work all the time. Of course not.
I'm looking at Euro CAD. We have quite special. We have a request to use watermarks on charts. I can actually do that. Let's see. I can put my on here. Is that good enough? Because I need it to be barely visible, because otherwise it's the reason why I'm not using watermarks is because they're in the way of my analysis. But if that works for you guys, then that's okay for me. So I like looking at, actually, you know what? I have to remove that with that watermark. It's just completely messing with me. We'll just have to, and I'm sorry, I just removed it after that comment, but we're just gonna have to mention which charts we're looking at. So this is Euro CAD. Now, look at price action right here. It's very compact, it's very special, because you have that 4-hour wick to the downside, and then the next candle, you have that wick to the upside. So this is a very specific price action. You can also look at the candle closes here, where the candle is opening and closing is perfect here with the wicks almost, and right here as well. It's just such a tight range here. It's crazy. And then you get this tight range on top of this one. It's not every day you see price action like this that's almost fits perfectly within a level. So on the daily, we obviously have price coming down into a daily level, and if we can get confirmation here on the 4 hour, I do think perhaps we have a trade here. No, you know what? This is not a trade because of this move on the 1 hour. If we didn't have this move on the 1 hour, then I would probably look better for a trade. Okay, so maybe it didn't look as good as I thought it did, but definitely interesting price action. You can see here as well, you have the same type of reaction to that level here as we're getting right now. A very, very compact and tight price action with the, especially on the 4 hour. Let's see what else we have here today. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin is obviously very strong. We broke above this high, broke above that one yesterday, and it looks like we're continuing higher, which is quite exciting because we're about to hit that range highs. I mean, we're still, yeah, we're in the range. We're still in the range, and we're hitting like a resistance area right there. But if we break above this one, we're gonna get into the range highs territory, and yeah, you never know. When Bitcoin breaks out, it's gonna fly. We've been accumulating in this range for so long now. This is just gonna completely explode if it closes above range highs, I believe. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens on that one. I've only taken one trade this week and one trade last week, so it's been a very slow 2 weeks for me. I think a lot of people are probably thinking the same, because I've seen a lot of people mentioning that it's a slow week. Not a lot of things are happening, so I think I might not be alone in that. Oh, look
Bitcoin
at that
looks,
retest right there.
Bitcoin looks like a cup and handle formation, right? If you look at the daily zooming out, or perhaps the the daily, I would say.
Maybe you could show it on your chart.
Sure. Let me get it. Right, you have this pattern where you have the cup, right, and it's forming a handle, which is a bullish. It's not exactly the way I put it, but of course, let me get it. Something like this, right? If it were to take out those highs, then this is a nice pattern for price to continue to go much higher. You can see that as well on the H4, right? If you this would be just the handle, you could see how price is slowly having this formation, right?
Is are cup and handles applicable to such high time frames? I think it is, right? I think it's a high time frame pattern as well.
It's those patterns are, you can apply to any time frame. So I think that looks quite nice. Let's see how that goes. Let's come back to EU, because I think it's interesting. Will it or will it not react and change direction from this level and continue its higher time frame direction? Will it do that from that area or not? That's the question for today. We had a lot of buying coming in this area, right? Within this move, so we have both sides trying to show that they are able to take control and continue. We see that here too. This well, let me zoom in a little bit, but if we see, well, not on the 1 hour, let me get these markings out of our way. But you can see that there is, on both sides, you can make a case, right? The trend continuation makes a lot of sense. as well. But also, if you consider the impulse that we had in this move, right, it makes sense that we could have another continuation on that side. Look at that, how we're moving in, very decisively, and this could have, a continuation for sure. Although of course, I was looking for that. I am looking for that bearish reversal, right? So if we zoom in all the way, it broke structure on the 1 minute, and the structures that it left are these the first structure we had, right? That one entry, and this bigger fella here. Not that big. It's on the 1 minute, but that's one indication. If it goes there and it reverses, shows a candlestick pattern, or candlestick combination that indicates a rejection of this order block, then it could be, the left shoulder, from this being the left shoulder, the head, and this would be then the right shoulder, right? You're talking about something like this, breaking the neckline, coming up, reacting on some structure, and then changing direction completely to the other side. Everyone who bought this up, saying, prices are very low, it's going to change direction, the trend is over, the downtrend, I mean, will be then trapped in that trade as it continues to go down, if that were to happen, right? We don't know what's going to happen. But it looks promising.
Yeah. Let's see, what do I have on EU? Yeah, man, it's such slow. You know what? Let's start the giveaway. I feel like it's difficult to do a live trading show when there's just no live trading, when there's just nothing happening in the markets. There's just just nothing. I'm just waiting on things to happen. I do USD CAD though. I think USD CAD for me is one of the most obvious ones. I'm gonna just head over to that one. I know you looked at USD CAD as well. Actually, I do like what you have on right there, and it's sort of like that area right there that you also marked out. It's sort of like this area that I want to see break below here. So I think you can actually mark it up more like that. And I'm going to remove that one, make it visible on only the. Let's see. How do I do that? Go into settings and then visibility, like that. Yeah, so this level, as soon as we actually has to be that one. Yeah, so this level has to break. When this level breaks, I'm looking at a breakout structure. And then we have such a clean and clear invalidation level as well up here. This will be a trade I'm taking. I think that would be yeah, I think that's one of the most obvious ones I'm watching right now.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very nice.
Yeah.
There is, in my book, it already has a breakup structure. Of course, it depends on the time frame, because each time frame to me has a different level it needs to break. So to me, it already made a H2 breakup structure. On the H2 time frame, it already broke structure, but of course, you want to see it on the H4 as well, and that's nowhere here. Nowhere anywhere near. So that makes me think that whatever move is starting now may have a run, but it's not something you want to swing.
Yeah. All right, guys, let us know in the comments if you're ready for the giveaway. If you are, then we're going to be starting the giveaway a little bit earlier today. Let us know. Let's see how many missions do we have? Yeah, so we do have well enough. Yep. Okay, let's. Someone is saying that gold is testing previous highs. Ooh, look at that! It's getting now
still close.
Okay, so the high on Oenda is
It's
85,
85.64.
yeah, 85.64. And now it's 85.465. So it's very close, very close. Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
we were 20 cents away from breaking it. 19 actually. Nice.
Okay, let's see what we get here. Lots of people in here today, more than what we usually get. So it's gonna be very interesting. Interesting to see if the winner is in the comments.
Yep. Also, please, everyone, if you want to stimulate the content, if you want to support our show by showing your appreciation, the way to do that is by hitting the hit button, subscribe, like us, and let us and everyone see that you like the show. This is something you want, you enjoy, and you're getting value out of it.
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you do hit that like and subscribe. It's always very much appreciated and helpful. All right, it looks like we have a winner from Australia. If you live in Australia, then pay attention. Pay attention, because your name is going to get brought up. And then what you have to do is you have to confirm the last part of your email. Now, I'm not talking about gmail.com. I'm talking about the last part of your email. And if this is your email address, if this is your name and you're from Australia, then you probably understand what I'm saying. So you got 2 minutes to confirm that this is you by giving me the last part of your email. Let's see. And if you did not win, if this is not you, then don't leave. Don't leave. Make sure you're still here, because there is a chance that you will win the next one. Because if the right person doesn't come along and grab this one, then we'll give it to the next one. And the reason we're doing this is to make sure that we're only giving away accounts to people that are actually active in the live streams and actually watching us and paying attention to what we're doing here. I think this is actually the first time that we do have a woman winning, so that's pretty cool. We definitely need more women in the world of trading. I also think women are better traders. I do think so.
Yeah, I think sometimes as men we try too hard, and you shouldn't be doing that in trading.
Yeah, and I think women kind of they have a way different way of looking at risk. Men are much more risk averse. So I think, yeah, I do think there's some really good female traders out there. Yeah, you know what? Like, I feel like this conversation is like a conversation that we probably shouldn't have, because it's like one misstep. I say one thing that's not political correct, and probably gonna get canceled. It's just such a infected, toxic discussion to have. Really, the difference between men and women. But I think what it boils down to is just I think women are better traders because of the way we look at risk. And I think men are take risks way easier than women, and more risks. So I think as risk management goes, I think women are better at that.
Yeah, I don't have any data on that, to be fair, but I suspect the same. I suspect that well, it's a generalization, something we're not allowed to do because not everyone is the same, etc. But in general, I would think that the differences we have between men and women would suit women better for trading.
Okay. let's see if we have the winner in here.
Apparently, we have a lot of Natasha in the audience.
Yeah, apparently. Let's see. Yeah, okay. But it says This is interesting though. Who is? Because I'm seeing the name Natasha. Now you have to confirm. Okay, I'm sorry. Like if you can't confirm with the email, I will have to I'll have to select another one. Unfortunately. Yeah, Motion Art is saying she's here, but where is she? I can't see it. I mean, I really want to give her a chance here. If she's here, then yeah. But is it actually you though? Okay, well, it's actually right. So I will. We'll have to confirm this as a winner because Motion Art is right here.
Nice, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Natasha. Wherever you are. But yeah, we'll have to confirm her as a winner. Cannot log in. Motion Art is saying, okay, never mind. You confirm the name, you confirm the Gmail, or the email. So guess you have to be her. Otherwise, I don't know. But congratulations to your 20, him or her. Yeah, let's not be whatever. Congratulations to 20K Bootcamp account. Let's see. We're 10 minutes early, but honestly, I feel like I've got nothing to nothing to cover. Really.
Well, if I may change the graph, we can see that price is doing what it's supposed to be doing within these two horizontal yellow lines, which is making a reversal. So this is uh, actually the way I trade in real time. Right, we have a bigger quasi, and it right. This is the bigger quasi. Bigger quasi. Let me get it straight. Right, bigger quasi, left shoulder, the head, the break of the structure, and it comes back, and presumably it's going to keep going that way. And if you look at on the H4, what you will see is that there is a bearish structure, right? There's a reason on the H4 why it could reverse. You go to the 1 hour, there is a reason there, which is, let me see, which one is it? Yeah, it is this order block, which I think I took away. Right, this order block was the original reason why. That's the area that I indicated. And if you go to the lower time frames, you find that there is a quasi there, and the quasi it's not perfect, right? It does go beyond it with the left shoulder, even with the head goes a lot above it, but you can see how it is, around that area. And with the quasi coming in, if you go to the 1 minute, you do the same, right? And you can zoom in this area, and you look for something in this leg to tell you what's likely place for it to reverse. And if you do this you go to the lower time frame and you go deeper in, what do you see, right? So I went from all the way from the H4 to the 1 minute, and you can see this is the neckline, and it does the quasi again. See that's the left shoulder, the head, it breaks
Okay,
it,
guys,
and
sorry, but we're gonna.
this time around.
Sorry to interrupt you, Victor. Sorry to interrupt you, but we're gonna repick. We're gonna repick the winner, and the reason for that is because. Okay, the reason for this is because the winner was not able to comment because the winner was not subscribed to the channel, but she was able to comment to send a message to someone else who was in the channel. So I do fear that. I mean, you got to make sure that if you win an account, it has to be in your name. It has to be your account. And if, for example, you invite someone else in here to register with their email and everything, and the account is going to be connected to that email, which means that person that owns the email has to have the KYC and everything with the company for you to be able to trade the account. Otherwise, that will not be correct. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, but you have loyalty points, yeah, you do the math. It's obviously you got to be subscribed to the channel to be able to win an account and be able to write in the comments. So yeah, we'll have to pick a new one because we have those rules for a reason, and that's because for instance, I might ask my fiance, could you go into this giveaway and register with your Gmail and everything, and let's pick a new one.
I think the bottom line is the person has to be in the chat. If they can't log in, then they can't be in the chat, and then they can be a winner.
Yeah, and if you message someone else that you know in the comments, we know what's going on. We know what's going on, and yeah. And also, I don't want to give away too much information and details about this because obviously we're trying to make sure we don't have a lot of scammers coming in. All right. Just give me a second because I'm making sure I'm just double checking that the winner haven't won in the past. Okay.
Okay. In the meantime, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready in just a minute, so you can.
Oh,
I'll bring
in
it
the
up
meantime,
here.
In the meantime, I can finish up the structure, right? And so as price comes back, right, we have that bigger quasi, as you can see, and price comes to an area that is relevant. In this case, it's that area above us. And when you take that off, let me see. Well, we take this off, and we can identify another structure within that structure. And that's basically how you could trade these reversals. And as long as price is going up and down, but below this, between the area, right, the area of interest, it's okay. There's nothing else to do. The entry already happened. So you just, when this happens and it forms that quasi again on the lower time frame, you just enter and let go of it. It will go to your TP or stop loss, and there's nothing you can do about it anymore. You just have to let the probabilities play out.
Gold did reach above all-time highs, as you can see right here. We also had a winner here. So if you are reading this and you've seen this, please confirm in the comments with the last part of your email, and then you will be the winner. So gold actually did break it above the high here.
I don't think so.
It did. High is 465. And high here is 465. Okay, 645 is or 640 is the one.
Almost did it, but a couple of cents.
Look at that! I think we have the winner right here. So please confirm us with the last part of your email, and you're the winner.
The person is asking how to confirm. You confirm by typing in the last couple of letters, the last four letters of your email, but of course not the domain name, right? Nothing from at and behind whatever it comes after at, but before the at, right? So the username or in this case, it's not the username, but the first part of the email, right? The last part, the last section of the first half of your email. So before at.
Yep, that's right. The numbers, we're looking for the numbers. There's a few numbers at the end of this email. Before the at sign, there's a few numbers, and we're looking for those numbers. Now I'm gonna wait because it's quite obvious that this guy is the winner. We have to confirm. And yeah, that's it. All right, good, perfect. That's it, people. We have the winner right here. Congratulations! And no, we're not gonna repick. It's just like you're too quick at repicking. We have to give people an honest chance of actually winning a giveaway. This is the winner. It's quite obvious that this is the person. The timing aspect is not a challenge. We only have the timing aspect to make sure that if you're not here, then like if we can find something with a similar name, we'll obviously wait for you to confirm it. It's not like a challenge of being the quickest. But yeah, all right, that's it. Congratulations. And then now make the make the most out of this account. Don't blow this chance now with this account. Hopefully you win it. Hopefully you get funded, and you can come on the live trading show and show your skills in front of all of these people. Okay. Any last words, Victor, before we end this week of live streams?
Well, I would like to invite everyone who is not part of our Discord community yet to come and join. We have on every weekday we have live stream in the Discord from people like Jonatan and myself, who will be sharing actual traders who will be sharing their experience with you. And the only thing you have to do is have an active account with the 5ers. Once you have that in the hub, you can click on the icon representing Discord, and that will give you the access to the community. And I believe it is one of the best, if not the best community on Discord for traders. We
Definitely.
are there to help you. So come join. You're all welcome.
And Discord is completely free for everyone that has an account with the 5ers. You don't have to be funded. You only have to have a evaluation account or had a valuation account. So make sure that you go in and you join the Discord. You don't have to pay anything. All right. That's it, guys. Hope to see you all next week for new giveaways and most important, new trading indication, more setups, and all that fun. All right, guys. Take care and see you guys next week.
See you. Bye-bye.
Hi guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Now make sure you like and subscribe, and most of all go into the YouTube and check our other content that we provide here at the 5ers. We'll see you in the next one.